Keek on the mic, keek on the mic, keek on the mic, keek on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Currently, the Bears fans that are tuning in to the Keek on the Mic videos, 77% of you guys are not subscribing to the channel. Please, please, please make sure you are smashing that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. I am on the road to 6,000 subscribers. So once again, I want to thank you guys and the people that already subscribed to the channel for all your love and support of the channel. I wouldn't be able to do this or hit this massive milestone of 6,000 subscribers without the support from you guys. So Bears fans, I have a really interesting topic today on the podcast. We all know that the Senior Bowl was just this past weekend. Luke Getsy got the nod to coach. Obviously, when you saw the footage and the pictures, you saw that Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham, Matt Eberflus were in attendance, getting the first-hand look of some of the talent that will be in the NFL draft. And obviously, it was a great event. It was a good opportunity for Luke Getsy to experience himself as a head coach. And like I just mentioned, it was also a good opportunity for Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham, Matt Eberflus to scout some talent. And we all know that conversations were probably had during this process. The Bears had the #1 overall pick. There was other teams in attendance as well during the Senior Bowl. So you for sure know that there were some conversations about what the Bears possibly would be doing with the #1 overall pick between team to team. According to Matt Lombardo, NFL, there's a feeling inside the NFL that the Chicago Bears general manager Ryan Poles can conceivably trade back twice in the upcoming NFL draft and still happily select a player they have been thrilled to choose #1 overall. Bears fans, this is exactly what we wanted to hear. The conversations that we have on the podcast all the time, it has us possibly trading back from 1 to 2 with the Texans and then 2 to 4 with the Indianapolis Colts. That's my dream as a Bears fan. That's a lot of your guys' dreams as a Bears fans. And I'm pretty sure that's what Ryan Poles wants to happen as well. So we do understand that him wanting to trade back twice and stockpile draft picks is no surprise. Will it happen that way? Will we get the opportunity to trade back with the Texans and trade back with the Colts? Or will it be we trade back with the Colts and then trade back with the Panthers? There's so many different scenarios to consider when we're talking about trading back. And we have to understand as Bears fans, you know, it's fun to go on these mock draft simulators and trade back with the Texans, get a load of picks, and then trade back with the Colts and get a load of picks. But it's going to be easier said than done for Ryan Poles. Sometimes things like that can be complicated. I can possibly see us trading back 1 to 4 with the Colts, getting a bevy of draft picks, and then maybe trading back from 4 to 9 with the Carolina Panthers and getting another load of draft picks. But I think it is very smart for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears to hopefully trade back twice, because obviously we want to rebuild this football organization. We need as many draft assets as possible in order to do that. So it's encouraging that NFL insiders like Matt Lombardo are hearing things like this, because we as Bears fans understand what Ryan Poles is probably thinking, because we know that how much he values the NFL draft, how he wants to build through the NFL draft. And in order to build through the NFL draft, you have to have draft picks. As it stands right now, the Chicago Bears only have 8 total draft picks. And after they pick #1 overall, they don't pick again until number 54 overall. So we all know that's not good enough to rebuild a football team. So of course, Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears are going to be looking to do the best thing as possible to trade back as much as possible and load up on draft capital, not only for this NFL draft, but hopefully for future years as well. So like I said, the dream scenario for all Bears fans, and I'm pretty sure Ryan Poles feels the same way, is hopefully to trade back from 1 to 2, get a couple of draft picks, and then trade back from 2 to 4 with the Indianapolis Colts and get another bevy of draft picks to support your rebuild of the Chicago Bears organization. Will it work out that way? Who knows? But all in all, I think Matt Lombardo, Ryan Poles, everyone in the NFL, everyone in the Chicago Bears organization understands that trading back twice may be the Bears' best bet, especially when we understand what Ryan Poles' goal is for him and being the Chicago Bears GM and what plans he has for the organization. He wants to build through the NFL draft. He needs draft picks to do it. And I think it's also interesting to consider here in this tweet that Matt Lombardo got, that they would still be happy trading back twice and still getting the player they would take number 1 overall. And that's a totally different conversation to have, right? Of course, if you trade back from 1 to 9, I don't think you would want to take Peter Skoronski at number 1 overall. I don't think you're going to want to take Tyree Wilson at number 1 overall. When I think of a player that they would still want at number 1 overall and trading back twice, I think of guys like Jalen Carter, Will Anderson Jr., right? Those type of guys. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in these next couple of months. Like I mentioned in past podcasts, things will start heating up probably like the end of March. I'm not sure if we will trade the number 1 overall pick prior to the draft or during the draft. I would probably put my money on prior to the NFL draft. That's when we will trade it. It just all depends on how things work out. But I think overall, as a Bears fan, I think this is what needs to happen. I think that's what we want to happen. We want to trade back twice, get as much draft assets as possible that will help support this rebuild and still be able to get a solid player that can come in right away and help this football team, right? So that's the goal. I just want to come on here on the podcast and share this little bit of information with you. I think this is a really important piece of information to share because this is something that I think as it gets closer, it's going to start heating up more and more and more. But at the end of the day, I think we all know that the dream scenario for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears is to be able to trade 1 to 2 with the Texans and then 2 to 4 with the Colts. So before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this. How do you guys feel about this little bit of news from Matt Lombardo? Let me know down below in the comment section. Before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, for all new Bears podcasts right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can